All I need is that little hype up, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, before we get into anything, I want to say thank you to Beyonce for letting us be on YouTube. And welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, featuring your host, Locarthemanbeast, also featuring me, the official Pink Pony Club person, DjLobsterDust.
Okay. First, real life, yes, thank Beyonce for everything from here on out.
First things first, I'm a motherfucking Porsche. Dude, if Pink Pony Club does not fucking...
It doesn't. It's an awful problem. It's an awful song. It's an awful song. I'm
looking on like Amazon for like cheap like bear leathers and like fucking officer hats for me to wear around the fucking house while I listen to that song.
Thankful that today is National Coming Out Day.
No, that was
it's today. It's October, man.
No, it's not.
It's National Coming Out Day. So
no,
just so everyone knows,
Aaron said I already missed it.
Yeah, but Aaron doesn't know anything because he's straight.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Cis white male.
Don't buy shit they're saying.
Gotta look it up yourself. Welcome in. Happy Monday. It's a terrible song. It's a terrible song because the very beginning of that song is 100% a different song. And then it's like this slow melodic, and then it goes in, and when the beat happens, you go, this could be a good song. And then it goes for another 3 minutes, and it's like, I'm done.
For the God, when that beat drops,
it's awful.
For that 3 minutes of just continuation, I am transported. I want glitter on my fucking face, dude.
There's something about you, bro.
I feel a little zesty, and I'm fucking like super okay with it.
Yeah, man. There's nothing wrong with liking dudes.
My wife is starting to look at me funny.
Yeah.
She's like, are you listening to this song again? Yeah. I'm like, I just like to dance.
Sure you do.
Oh,
I can see
man.
see non-shaven down, still as burly hairy as you are. Fucking
I'm trying. I might just chop this off and throw a wig on, boy.
So fucking full on neon pink mesh shirt.
You're lucky I'm afraid of duct tape. I'd already be fucking tucked back.
You don't need duct tape.
What, to tuck?
No, there's surgeries for that nowadays.
For a penny in for a pound. Come on, pussy.
Yeah, you're either going 0 to 100 and nothing at all.
Nah, dude. I'm fucking. And what's worse is like I've been playing it like on my TV, like while I'm like doing shit around the house and stuff, and then it goes into like her playlist, and they're just as good. And by just as good, I mean like they're just as bad. Like I understand, like they're real, like but fuck, dude, they make me want to dance.
That song, okay, that's the thing. That song does not make me want to dance. I think maybe that's what it is. I don't like the song because there's no emotional attachment to the song, right? You know, listen to the lyrics and be like, oh my God, I could see myself there. There's also the side of it when I hear the music, that doesn't make me want to dance. Why? Because I'm not a 25-year-old white woman at a bar. Like that's step one. I'm not going to have my hand in the air with, drink in my hand, trying not to vomit.
Dude, I want to drink fucking buttery Chardonnays when that song fucking pops off.
Nah.
Fucking.
I've gone down a different rabbit hole with music lately that it's not, I mean, I still listen to the same stuff I always listen to, you know what I mean? But like my music genres are usually fairly eclectic. They're all over the board. We'll listen to fucking happy hardcore music directly into like screamo, directly into like Mozart, directly into like, Led Zeppelin. Like my music just kind of loops. Recently, I have been digging old like Southern
even flow.
No, like the bluesy, almost like country rock.
Yeah, I could dig that.
You know what I mean? Like there's a song called The Devil Wears Red that I just cannot get enough of. And it's like, it's not, Keith Urban-y, like, well, my truck, type of thing. But it's like, it's got like a very country lyric sound to it. but the guitar and the music behind it is very bluesy, and it's like, oh, dude, it just hits on another level.
Makes me think of like fucking Black Snake Moan when fucking Samuel Jackson finally buzzed out the guitar, dude. That song and that heavy fucking feedback guitar.
Yeah. That's what. When you got that,
gives me a little
that
goosebumpy.
feed going on it and you hear it, like it goes in, like that first strum is like, just super grainy. It's like, oh.
I thought you were gonna say you're getting super into the new Even Flow cover by Machine Gun Kelly.
No, I heard it and I was like,
God, that guy fucking ruins classic songs. A long time ago, I think it was Paisley like reposted on Facebook him doing like a Rage Against the Machine song. I was like, well, that was fucking terrible. She's like, I don't know, I thought it was good. And I was like, God, I hope he never sings anything. And like, I don't know how I stumbled across it, but it was just a playlist of all the songs he's ruined. That's what it's titled. Machine Gun Kelly ruining classic rock songs, and just fucking dumpster fire after dumpster fire.
I saw an interview with him and some dude or something, and they asked him, they were like, what is the most wildest, like out of control, like really crazy party you've ever been to? And then, like the guy who was interviewing was like, and like he like kind of was like Machine Gun Kelly was like sitting, and then I think he realized he was talking about Diddy, and he was like, "Oh, shut the fuck up, man!" And they started laughing. He was like, "No, I think it was probably like Drake's party or something." It's like, that's not any better, man.
Yeah, there's these kids running around.
Yeah,
it's a birthday party. Birthday party.
Yeah. We're all in the blue jump houses for. Oh man.
Fucking Jesus. They're treating it like those fucking pick your own lobster tanks in a fucking seafood restaurant. I want that one. Just jumping around a bounce house.
Yeah.
Black bagging them real quick.
It's Diddy sitting talking to his lawyers about like, well, I've got an idea. Okay. So I want this place where it's kind of like in this big open field. It's got a big house, but then like, we can kind of have like rides and stuff in the back. And every one of them's like Neverland Ranch. No, nothing like that. That's weird, man.
No. Like giraffes and like a petting zoo.
If Michael can do it, so can we. Michael Jackson was wild too, man. Not just like all the stuff that like was attributed with him, but like how much money that guy had. Like when him and you know what I mean? Like him and Paul McCartney did like a song together, and I guess he had asked Paul McCartney at the time, is like, how much do you think the Beatles are worth, or like what their anthology be worth? And at the time it was like late 80s or whatever, and I think Paul McCartney said something like, I don't know, like $6 million or whatever, or something like that, some ridiculous money. Michael Jackson the next day had purchased it. Paul McCartney didn't find out until the day after that. And then came to him and was like, what the fuck? And he was like, well, you said 6 million, so I gave you 8, because it's probably what it's worth. And then Michael Jackson literally owned all of the Beatles music forever. It's like,
that's insane.
That's insane.
To think of like what, especially like by like nowadays standards. You got fucking TikTokers making like $6 million, and somebody purchased for $8 million the rights, royalties, and masters of the Beatles.
Yeah, man.
Fucking
holy shit.
Outrageous.
That's a whole nother ball game to even think about at that point in time. Yeah. Girls fart into jars and make $1 million a month.
Yeah.
Money is nothing anymore. Money means nothing.
Oh.
Woo! Yeah. Okay, so before we get into the conspiracy, because we opened up with the Beyonce stuff, I want to get your take on this, but let's just talk about video games for just a moment.
All right, shoot.
Okay, last podcast we talked about Throne and Liberty. We have not done it.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, me and Sean started working through like tutorial missions and shit like
Fucking
that. I just have to reach the part where you guys run into wolves. He told me is where I should start slowing up.
Okay.
I got to fucking God.
What do you think?
I think I understand what he's saying about like it front loads too much, because you're gonna forget everything, because there's so many times where like, and this is also just me, like I'm just trying to like catch up to you guys, and then from there, whatever we experience. But like right now, I'm blowing cutscenes. I'm fucking just
You're fine to do it because that's all I've been doing.
And literally, like I start getting, I'm like, how the fuck? And I'm looking, like trying to figure out how I fast travel, how I do this, and I'm like, okay. I'm literally like, Sean's talking. I'm like, I need you to stop, like just because I'm like reading, you know, like okay. I got it. There's a lot of this early learning that's fucking irking me a little bit.
It's a different.
I'm realizing it is very much, and it's probably like just MMOs in general, but like the farm this, bring it back to this, go to this, do this. It's very much World of Warcraft. No, don't take it personally.
No, you're fine.
But I'm realizing I'm much more tolerant of it with better graphics and better when it just feels a little cleaner to me, you know?
Yeah.
Because something like just watching Aaron and them play World of Warcraft last night, it just doesn't get me excited, just because I feel like those graphics are so antiquated in a way,
sure,
that they haven't really come forward in a way that like gets me fucking hyped.
Well, I think that's also a big thing about it is like we go back to that idea. It's like if it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the people who play WoW. Kind of weird thing, but like the people who play WoW have been playing WoW forever. You're not really getting new WoW players in. You know what I mean? And if you are getting new WoW players in, at this day and age, it has to be people who have played other MMOs, right? Like you're not getting, I don't think WoW is capturing a brand new audience of MMO players. Like, I don't think that that's the case anymore. There's so much content spanning so many years with so much to do and so much backtracking that if they are capturing any new players, I can't see them being the younger kids coming from Fortnite. You know what I mean? The adolescents who are now becoming like young adults coming from Fortnite, picking up WoW and then like grinding WoW. I don't think that attention span or that attention to detail is in the younger generations with video games. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then I think for the old hats, you know, people who are like our age or even older that are then deciding, hey, MMOs sound fun, going into WoW is like not the bee's knees. You know what I mean? I think there's just a lot to it. Throne and Liberty is, again, I think it's a little bit more. If you take the MMO out of it, you can just kind of see it as a third-person hack and slash with like combos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the story's fucking god-awful. It's boring. If I have to listen to Helpy, you know what I mean? It's like, holy Christ. You know, and I know that there's a time when Helpy's gonna go away, and that's the day I'm like, I can't wait. We're gonna celebrate.
You're waiting for like the fucking Hedwig and Harry Potter scene where like he like sacrifices himself and everybody else is like, oh no, help me, and you're like, yes, screaming over his dead body in a cutscene.
Right. That's exactly right. So I can't. It wouldn't be. I hate that people make characters like that. Like even in Final Fantasy with like the Lalafels and stuff, like the Lalafels are like goofy and funny, and they have some really like weird, outlandish things that they talk about or they do, which kind of like break up. They're kind of like the comedic relief in some sense, and that's fine. But when you have something that is like a constant that needs to be there, that isn't something that you can like turn off or like walk away from in a sense, that just pops up and is like, it's like, holy shit, I can't do it. Like even
in be so high pitched.
That's what I'm saying. Like even in Black Desert, you had the little the black ghost that would follow you around. Like he would come out at the most inopportune times and he would talk to you, and then he would just be like, but his voice lines weren't high pitched or whatever. They're very like weirdly like ethereal, almost like rah, 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 rah. And it was like very kind of ominous. But again, there wasn't any voice lines, so it was just this fucking nonchalant like blah 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 blah. It was like listening to a Peanuts teacher talk in your ear. Yeah. It's like, holy shit, just move on. I do not care. I do not care. So I want to play it. I turned it on today and I went to start doing stuff and I was like, wait. I need to wait. So I literally haven't touched it since we talked about it.
I think I'm almost caught up to you guys.
Okay.
So we talked about it like the very next day.
Uh-huh.
Me and I think it was Will. Yeah, me and Will were running a couple Tarkov raids. Sean just happened to pop in, and Will's like, "All right, I gotta go." And I was like, "All right." So me and Sean were sitting there. I was like, "Sean, you want to play this?" And he's like, "Okay." I don't think he was super thrilled about. I think like just going through like the re-tutorial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did he start a new character
go-
with you, or did he take his old character you had?
I think he was starting a new character,
And then he was like,
and
no,
then I
fuck
think
it.
he just bailed on that shit.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
God, that tutorial is fucking
obnoxious. I mean, I
Yeah.
get the process on. So what's really interesting. So Jason Schreier, he wrote a couple books. He wrote Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and God, what was the other book he wrote? Oh God, I can't
Ferris
remember.
Bueller's Day Off.
Something like that. He just put out a new book. It just came out on Monday or whatever, and like I had it pre-ordered on Audible because I just listened to him because Ray Chase reads all of his books. I fucking love Ray Chase as an audiobook like voice guy.
Yeah.
I read, Brad. I read books. Many books.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I read.
Does Audible? Hey, Cliff, does Audible count as reading?
There's some books
I read, Brad.
There's
You're
some-
talking about
there's
giving
some-
your Audible plug.
There's some books you don't read. Like, anyway, so this book he wrote is called Play Fair, and it's the entire history, account, rise and downfall of Blizzard Entertainment. It's fucking brilliant. So it's like a 9-hour audiobook. It's like a fairly decent sized book or whatever. And I've gotten through like a few hours of it because I just listen to it when I'm on the like driving on the road or doing work stuff. So it's because it's like a fucking documentary in a sense. Like that's not one you read. You don't sit down and read those books unless you're bored with life. But listening to them is fun. It has been it's a brilliant, like clear, concise information. Like even the beginning of it, he was like, you know, there's a lot of things that have happened over Blizzard's span that just are like all over the board. So this book is more about trying to take all of that information and detail it in a streamline. So we have a point A to a point B type of idea on what went through. And he's like, and most of all this information comes from sources, people that work there, people who were there at the beginning, people who are there now, people that want to remain anonymous because they're still there. You know, the only people that didn't reach out to talk to me for this book was Blizzard themselves, whatever current Blizzard is, you know. But there's enough information from all these things. And he's like, and anytime that anything is being said in this book by another person was something that was said directly to me. Like not something of speculation or anything like that. It was something that was given directly to me. And that's how Jason Schreier writes all of his books. When he did Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, he did the same thing. Every word and confirmation is something that was concrete and there, and those people were giving me that information directly without it being, you know, and if it's contradictory to other things, I didn't put it in the book. Cool. So really interesting so far about just how like the beginning part of it has been rising. And then like, even in the early days of Blizzard, you can see all of the problems that had existed, but people, especially us as gamers, were so blind to the back end of it because it's Blizzard. You know, when StarCraft came out, it was fucking such a giant thing that no one really realized all the back end of how bad everything was, you know? That's when we listened to Pirate Software or whatever, and he's talking about his time at Blizzard or whatever, and he talks about all the bullshit or whatever. And like, you're going back and listening to this book, and people are talking about that same bullshit that he went through back in like 97, 98. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, man, it's been like this forever because that was Blizzard's idea on things. And it was like, you know, I was talking to a couple people that were, workers or whatever, and like after acquisitions and changes, and they were talking about management driving around you know, in brand new sports cars and shit like that. And like he was like, you know, me and my roommate went to go buy a TV, but we didn't have enough money to buy a new TV. And the lady who was there was like, oh my God, you guys work at Blizzard? And they're like, yeah, because they were wearing a Blizzard shirt. She's like, oh, my husband is one of investors or something on the back end. You've made him so much money. Like, let me buy your TV for you. And they were both like, that was the day we realized we need to quit this fucking job because we can't even afford to buy a TV. But other people we have no idea about are making fucking hand over fist while we're grinding. You know, we're at the point where like we're taking sleeping bags to the office to sleep at work to finish games. Like people talking about like losing families and like relationships and like houses because they haven't been there to pay their rents and shit like that. But like the top end people are continuing to make money. And like then like just watching the trail of like all the shit that we see now with Blizzard, you're like, man, that's fucking terrible. And it's like clean, nice little lining of it being like, this has been here since the beginning. And it's like, oh, it feels even worse to want to be behind a Blizzard product nowadays. You know what I mean? Especially because it's gone through so many different hands. And then, it, you know, between...
Like instead of a pyramid scheme, it's like, it's a broom. It's really fanned out right here. And then just goes straight up for like one fucking guy who had capital and saw like the drive, you know, and the talent, but like knew he could kind of fucking like fudge his way through it because like the dedication and like the passion they had for the project would carry him through.
Well, they talk about, you know, at the very beginning with Al Alheim and Mike Morhaime, the two guys that basically started Blizzard, and like how at the very early days they were barely able to make things work, and then they got acquired by basically like this husband and wife company that was like the people that made like Math Blasters and shit like that. That was their initial like first company that acquired them that as a publisher or whatever that allowed them to continue being a developer. And then all of that started swapping hands at different developments. So it's just getting to the part of the book where it's swapping over to Activision side because there's all these different. So, and it's like funny. It's like, they're talking about how the last person that purchased the company, they found out it was like a fraudulent thing where it was like a scheme where they were picking up all these subsidiaries or whatever to make it look like the company was growing, but they weren't actually putting any money into the company's profit wise. And so like they got caught up in this lawsuit or whatever. And like there was one point he's like, you know, and the prosecutor from like Delaware or whatever that put this whole investigation together and then got them like sued was like Chris Christie. And he's like, and that person went on to make much more history for himself later. Like, it's just, it's just a funny circle how everything is just kind of neatly placed up. This book is just really cool. If you are a Blizzard fan and you are unhappy with the progression of things or whatever, but you are still like unsure how things have gotten to this point, this book does such a cool job of just like lining it all out so you can just like take it by bite. And as like you start to go on, you're like, yeah, Blizzard. And then he does a good job of sandwiching where it's like, this is all the negative, but here's a positive, and here's some negative, here's the positive. So like you go through this roller coaster of emotion of being like, oh man, I remember when that happened. And then it's like, oh, that's what happened. And then you're like, but I remember that.
Out, like, it's that cool nostalgia. It's like, oh shit, I remember. And then you're like, and he killed 4 people.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh shit.
it's wild seeing certain things because I remember when, you know, we're talking about like 97, 98 when like Warcraft 2 came out, when like StarCraft 1 came out. And I remember like the big blow up for Blizzard at that point in time because like we're only like 1 or 2 years away. No, yeah, more than that. 2003, 04 before World of Warcraft came out. But like, what was it? Was it 2000 or 2001 that Warcraft 3 came out? No, it had to have been earlier than that. Either way, I remember playing Warcraft 3. So it's like being a part of Blizzard family of gaming and stuff like that for so long. And then seeing what it is today and being like, God, you were a shell of what you used to be. And then like getting all the backstory and everything. It's like, oh God. It's rough. It's the Dr. Disrespect effect. I really enjoy your content, but like all your back stuff is fucking puts me on the edge of what I should actually like, you know?
Yeah. Back.
You watched the Barrow Trauma episode?
Yeah. Oh my God. I wasn't sure what to expect because like you like described it to me and it came on. I was like, what the fuck is this? And like, I would say it started off slow, but then it was like, oh shit. And next thing you know, I mean, I'm like crying, laughing. And Janica walks out. She's like, what are you what are you watching? I was like, oh, it's Trevor and Sean. She's like, how is Sean? I was like, oh, he's addicted to opium. And she's like, what? I'm like, really? Like, right there. And she's like, fucking shut up. And like right at that moment, like the things started coming in, those like tadpole dog looking fucking things coming in. Oh God, oh God.
I'm trying to open the hatch. He's trying to open the hatch. So we just kept opening and closing the hatch. Like, stop opening it.
That was fun though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The game's a whole lot of mess. Like we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of stuff I cut out of because it's so boring for such a long portion of it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just nothing to do until you get to where you need to go and whatever you're deciding to do. But it was one of those things where, you know, we were talking about, I was like, man, there are people that hardcore play this game, like take it seriously, hardcore play it. They have like servers that they run and like very specific ships, and they have people on certain crews and stuff. And it's like, whoa, that's weird. Every time me and Sean have played it has been like that.
It's just, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. And so I opened up the medical cabinet and I was reading all the stuff, and that was like the point. I was like, oh, you can get addicted to this stuff. It's like waiting for Sean to do something, and I was like, bloop. Ah, it was a good time. I had a lot of fun with that.
I swear, Sean is a content machine. He's just the it factor that he brings to every game is just fucking unquantifiable.
We played Phasmophobia the other night. And it was just like, if you want me to do something, pick up the cup. And like we all pick up the cup or whatever. He's like, fine. And then like goes back in, like standing at the door or whatever. I was like, what happened?
Do you want me to go back in there? Okay, but are you sure that you want me to go back in there? Drop it if you want me to. Okay, pick it back up if you're really sure.
It was like when we went to the asylum or whatever, and we all died because we must have hit like a time limit or something. You know what I mean? That's the only way the ghost killed all three of us back to back. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know, so it's probably a time limit. And then just hearing I turned into a ghost and then heard the truck start. I was like, what the fuck? And like Sean's like, no, I was leaving. Once I saw all you guys blip off the mountain, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Just beep, beep, beep. All right, grabs the keys.
Yeah. Don't know what happened to him. Oh God. Too funny.
That was fun.
Too fucking funny. We gonna play spoopy games tonight?
I can play some spoopy games tonight.
We should.
I think I just downloaded Outlast Trials.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I got that and Demonologist.
Have you played Outlast Trials?
No.
Oof. That one's.
I think I saw a clip of like you, Sean, and Pad playing it.
We did
and
play.
It was just fucking pandemonium.
Yeah. It's.
I think like you hid behind like a desk or something, and you see Sean, oh Jesus, oh, like running and screaming, and then like you turn and run, and you're running down, and then like out of a trash can, this little like furry like furrowed head pops up in his pad. He's all, you can hide in here, and then you hide right next to him, and then Sean like runs back down the hallway like, fuck off.
Oh man, such good times. Yeah, did we do a video of that? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't think you guys did a video.
I know it was in one of the spoopy things last year because I remember I cut
I remember a clip.
It was in the outro for the Halloween stuff or whatever. I don't remember if we did a video or not. I think we did. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I remember there being a lot of butt cheeks and penises. So maybe I didn't do a video.
It might be hard to cut around some of that.
Just fucking, who cares? Nobody watches this shit anyway.
Nobody watches this shit.
Yeah?
Heartburn.
Dude, I've been getting heartburn a lot too. I've never had heartburn in my life. Ever. Ever. Recently, fairly recent, within like the past like few months or whatever, I'll be like sitting here doing something, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, there's like the worst pain in my chest. And I'm like, is this like a heart attack? Am I gonna go? And then it's like person like, you know, but then it's like it doesn't continue as pain, and it just feels like right in the esophagus, and it's like, I think that's heartburn. And I'll get like Tums and eat Tums, and I feel it like kind of subside. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Is this age? This is
I don't
awful,
know.
man.
I've had heartburn forever.
Really?
Yeah. It's the worst.
Yeah, man. Just uncomfortable.
Like when you like start eating like a pizza and you can taste like a good red sauce on it, but later like that's gonna be what gets you.
I don't know. It's not something.
See, mine is we just had lasagna, which is fucking fire. But
from where?
Made it.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Made it. So it's really good. There's a lot of sauce in there, and I like halfway through, and I think even like the dairy in it, like from the ricotta and stuff like that. Like halfway through, I like had a burp, and then just like I could feel like the acid. I was like, God damn it, dude! Like I know this is gonna fucking get me.
Yeah, man. Yep. I know that specifically. I've started making red sauces without tomato. I use red bell pepper.
Okay. I was just about to be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I just find anything else red and I just put food coloring in.
I made vegan milk? What? I jacked off into a fucking butter churn.
No, I started using red bell peppers as my base for my red sauces.
But yeah, it's actually pretty good.
It's fun. It's fire. I'll make it for you one of these days. And what I do is if I have time, usually I'll roast the reds so I can peel the skin off of them, because the skin is usually what's the most like hard for the body to digest and shit like that. So I'll peel the skin out and then I'll cook them down, blend them out, make a red sauce out of it. A little bit of like heavy whipping cream to kind of thicken it. But holy shit, that's like the only thing I'll go to nowadays for red sauces, because like a tomato red sauce, for whatever reason,
I say it probably doesn't have all the acid
No.
and stuff that you get from a tomato.
And I love tomatoes. Like, don't get me wrong, I eat tomatoes like apples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit of salt and just I fucking love tomatoes. But yeah, something about them just tears me on the inside. It's like
A lot of acid.
A lot of acid. Grease is my bigger thing, but like not spicy food, dude. I can fire down spicy food and not have a problem, but it's like oils and grease and shit like that. Like a pizza is the worst, dude. And I don't know. I'm like, maybe it's a lactose, but it's like, but I also don't know if it's a bread. I don't eat a whole lot of bread.
Oh, if you don't eat a lot of like tomato sauces, you don't eat a lot of bread, and you have a lactose problem, pizza's your fucking worst nightmare.
Yeah,
and
but
grease.
Oh my god,
it's like,
but it's every time you bite into a pizza. Well, I don't know. I'm at this point where like I keep ordering pizza because like my brain goes, dude, you want fucking pizza? Get a pizza, and I'm like, yeah. I'll get a pizza, and I'll be like, oh, you smell it. Like, oh my god, this is gonna be so good. And you take a bite of it, and I'm like, it's okay. That's what's killing me, dude. That's what's killing me. I'm eating food that
what did COVID do to you?
I don't know, dude. It ruined me. It ruined me. I'm out here hand rolling noodles and making my own sauces because nothing fucking works anymore. Oh man. I've got like a noodle thing now. Like I like roll my own dough, like fucking roll it out, flatten it out, and then like I've got a thing that I like hand roll and it makes noodles for me. It's like a full...
Are you for real?
Yeah, for real. In our Discord, me and Rai started a food porn channel, and we've just been, every time we get food or make food, we've just been posting food porn in there. And so
that's say new right there.
Yeah. And so I had posted a bunch of things in there about the about what I made the other night. So I made like the homemade Alfredo that we did. But because like when we went up to your house, I didn't have my noodle roller. So I was like, all right, well, we're just going to cut this up by hand so we can just fucking eat it.
I thought it was just a bit. Like, oh, I had like my noodle roller at home.
No, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It makes the process it takes time. That's the thing about it. Me and Will were talking about it. I love homemade noodles, but the amount of work that has to go into making a homemade noodle is like, bro, by the end of it, I was like dripping sweat, like fucking sick of rolling dough covered in flour. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like,
yeah,
to make something that's going to take 15 minutes to cook that I'm going to eat in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit.
I don't mind. I enjoy cooking. I like coming across a good recipe and putting some time into it. What fucking will like put a hard stop for me is anything that involves flour and or like cornstarch, because I fucking hate more than anything when just that one bit of like flour with water gets like flies somewhere, and like either like you miss it, like when you're cleaning, like it's just like right out of like where you thought like the splash zone could be or something, and that thing turns into fucking granite.
Cement. Yeah.
Like or like God forbid, like it's like you have like the spatulas and stuff, you put them in the sink and it sits there and you eat dinner and you come back and like what wasn't sitting in the water like up on the spatula handle is like ooh. Oh, okay. I thought you froze. I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
oh, no.
Sorry, I just got a message.
But like on spatula handle where like above the water where it's like that ring of death that you're like scraping with a knife against like the wood of it, you know?
It's the pot. It's like the pot brim or something, or like the top of it that like ends up with something, or like your mixing bowl that's got that fucking fine line that just turns to cement. It's like, fuck it, dude. It's just gonna be there.
That shit, like that will keep me from like if I'm like reading through like a recipe, or like when like Jenica's like, let's like fry something, and she's getting out like the like the dredge for like flour, breadcrumbs, egg, like all that shit. When I start thinking about the mess that makes, I'm like, nah, we're good. We don't need to do that.
Yeah. The thing is that when I make homemade noodles or homemade food in general, there's something about I know that this is the case because it is what it is. Because you can add whatever you want to it. You want something a little bit more spicy. You want something a little bit more salty. You know what I mean? When you get something from like a store or whatever, it's just already there. You can add stuff to it, but you don't know how much stuff has already gone in there. So you're kind of like, you can kind of fake it till you make it. But there's something about making your own home. I have no recipe. If someone was like, can you give me a recipe for your fucking, I don't know, whatever, I couldn't tell you. You put this, and this in it. Yeah, but how much? No fucking clue. Put it in until it tastes
based
good.
on feel and consistency.
That's it. I taste all my food. I taste it. It needs this. I'll add it. Nope, it has too much of this. We got to add this to fucking counteract it. You know what I mean? But like, there's just, I have no way of giving someone a recipe. I just never learned how to do that. So that's also why I hate cooking too, because like, well, I don't hate cooking. I love cooking. I really do. I've loved cooking forever. But just like when you like go to make something, you're like, oh, we're out of something. It's like, well, this whole recipe's fucked now because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to fix this.
Can you substitute mayonnaise for whole cream?
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna try.
Mayonnaise with a little bit of water to blend until you get that creamy consistency. Dump it in.
I mean, I kind of miss getting high for that reason. You know, like back in the day when like you'd smoke like a fatty, and then you go to the kitchen,
go to a corner store. You're like, I'm gonna get some fucking vanilla ice cream, some cinnamon toast crunch. Yeah, now we're fucking cooking. You're playing Iron Chef in your own head. You're just like looking around at what weird ingredients you can combine to make something good.
Oh my god! And then of course getting home and putting all those ingredients together, eating it, and it being just every fucking part of your brain is lighting up. You're like, oh,
a symphony.
I can taste the notes of vanilla with the tuna fish. You know? Oh my god! And then you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my god, my gut, what the fuck is going on? You look at the trash, you're like, oh, that's right.
It's a fucking letter from your stomach that said Taco Bell would have been a better choice.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. Next time, just drink out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
Instantly transported to like fucking Austin Hillendahl's house, like going to that like shitty little store in the middle of Coloma.
Yeah. Yep. God, man. It was much easier back then. You keep looking. I keep hearing it.
Dude, I swear there's fucking go. Yeah, I think that's her.
Okay.
I don't know. Earlier, like I came in and the cat was in here, and the cat was just like staring at the wall and like pump faking the wall. Shit's freaking me out, dude.
You could always move.
Nah, and let them win. Fuck out of here.
What do you want for Christmas? Ouija board or Sage? Do we want to make it worse or we want to clean it?
I don't know. I guess it depends on like where I am in life. If I don't have a job by then, yeah, Ouija board.
Okay.
If things start to turn around, yeah, I should probably fucking get some Sage and clean it up. Let's just fuck around. Nope, no. Fuck all the shit I said.
Actually, I'm taking the traveling job. Let's do the Ouija board. Oh man, too funny. Halloween events are popping up everywhere now in video games. We got Tarkov's Halloween event starting.
Tarkov's always had Halloween events. And
Do they do the
has
Sriracha
always had-
every year?
Sriracha just started either last wipe or the wipe before.
So
But like Cursed Sriracha,
Mhm.
is it the same event?
I don't know. So right now, what it seems like,
So right now is you're killing priests,
so you're killing.
or is it just cultists in general?
The first mission is kill 5 cultists. The second mission is kill Oni, and there's like 3 names, which
Mhm.
everyone thinks it's just reskinned goons. But
So there are like
there's like a boss thing.
cultist boss things. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the next part of the mission, and apparently, I don't know
And
where I don't know where it goes from there. I haven't looked into it after that point, but I think
they're all at night.
they're all at night. So it's spoopy cultist goons at night.
See, when they first did the Zerachi event, it was kind of cool because everybody ran nods all the time, because it would be like middle of the day and you'd start getting like clouds and then just like it just fade to like pitch black like
sick.
instantly, and like shit would light up, and they had like the fucking stupid scavs that had like the jack-o'-lantern heads that would walk around and shit. Like,
Well, how close was that to actual Halloween? Because we're still middle of the month. Like there could be another event, you know.
that I think the pumpkin heads was like right like
At
week
Halloween.
of Halloween.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But
And
I
usually
also,
they do kind of carry it on, you know.
well, I also think about the whole PvE aspect, because that's all we're playing. Like killing like Halloween Zerachi took an entire server sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna do
You
that.
need fucking impact nades and fucking
I don't know how you're gonna do that in PvE,
everything.
especially with the entire map always against you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe the event is different per server, you know?
Fucking just do it. I think it was like Landmark and Trey. They had vectors
Mhm.
just using rip rounds, like 45 ACP rip, and they just legged the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Nobody shot for anything. They just fucking crippled them so that they could run away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
You gotta get. I just watched this fucking video of Trey. You know the fucking like the KS-12 shotgun,
Mm-hmm.
the big giant boy. How it has those like fucking flashbang rounds.
Yeah.
He dropped a bag that was just full of blickies, and the other people in the force tech ready. He's like, okay, I'm gonna run at this guy, and he was in full Alton gear, and it's just, everybody had blickies. Go until it's empty, drop. Go until it's empty. The guy's just sitting there at a certain point, like he's like, fuck this. Like he just gives up. A blicky lab skill in PvP is fucking nuts.
We're at that phase of Tarkov wipe where it's the people that have been the fuckery has started. I've been watching clips nowadays of people doing. I watched Burnt Peanut take Tagilla with like a Taz that was just like fucking mangled. He had so many weird attachments, and he killed Tagilla with that Taz. I was like, okay, oh no.
See, Burnt Peanut's different though. I think his is always fuckery.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I don't watch his stream, but like just based off everything that he posts, I don't think there's a serious moment in White for it.
Me and Rye have been watching him consistently. I don't think that there's not a serious moment that man has.
Rye told me the name of one of his stream titles. He's all, dude, Burnt Peanut's stream title is pee in my mouth, fart in my mouth, fart in my face, sniff my ass, like dick suck, let's go or some shit.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
it's like some random thing, like whatever day, like Saturday or Friday today, it'll be like fart hood Friday, like poop in my butt, hashtag poop in my butt, hashtag like let's bungulate, hashtag let's bungulate, hashtag let's bungulate.
Fucking,
He's such a weird cat, man.
I love it.
I mean, that's what it is. That's man, I feel like that's what content should be right now. There's two things. So you have the very serious side of content, and then you have the fucking outlandishly off side of content. The serious side of content's boring. Dude, there's just nothing going. Like, I've been trying to watch some serious players again, like doing Fortnite or COD and stuff like that, and I'm like, this just isn't entertaining. I just don't have fun watching the seriousness of it. Like, I understand good players. Like, Landmark is a perfect example of like, he's not a serious player. Not serious in the sense of like everything he does is like methodically thought out and da 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 da. You know what I mean? He likes to fuck around with his chat and goof around with the game because I think he just knows it so well. But like his content is also like you just watch it for him getting into fights and like killing people because like he's just so good at what he does. But it's just like 90% of his like I have more fun watching Landmark clips than I do have watching Landmark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't sit and just watch him play. Same thing with fucking Stank's like content as well. I realized the thing about Stank Rat that calm down, Pink Pony Club. The thing about Stank,
I was just gonna say his whole thing is ratting. So it's gotta be fucking
boring.
90% just
boring.
sitting there and waiting for shit to happen.
And he talks to his chat while he's waiting, which is fine because there's a lot of engagement between him and his chat. So the community grows off of that. But he also has donations that talk in game and stuff like that. So like anytime someone donates or does bits, they can put a message in and like comes up. So he'll be talking to his chat, obviously not realizing a donation's going on, and it's just fucking chaos. And then his chat just says dumb shit for like 20 minutes. It's just donation after donation that just does some random ass, like someone's just copied a Wikipedia paragraph and thrown it in the chat, and it just fucking rambles. And I'm like, this is awful to watch, but your clips are fucking amazing. I love watching Stank clips because it's just so fucking like the instant something happens, it's just funny. And it's like, that's great. And then you realize, oh, this is why he streams for 12 hours a day and only puts out 4 clips. You know what I mean? Like, there's only 4 clips worth of content over 12 hours, you know?
Yeah. I don't really think there is like an in between.
No.
I'm trying to think of like people who play serious and people who fuck around, and if there is like a fucking Venn diagram where there's someone in the middle. And I don't really.
No.
Nah.
Nothing. I can't. The only thing I could usually think of with that is YouTubers that used to put out videos and stuff like that. I feel like Markiplier did like good stuff where like he'd take things seriously and then be funny or like things like that, like in between videos, maybe even of that sense. But like actual content creators that do live streams, I don't know if there's any. Also, Twitch culture is a whole nother ball game. There's just nothing good to watch on Twitch. Like, I don't like some of the games that are the most popular games. You know?
Have you seen that new battle royale that just came out?
Which one?
Where you're a robot guy? You have special arms and legs?
No, but is this the one that I was telling you about a while ago? And you're like, "It's stupid. We shouldn't talk about this." Blah 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 blah.
Doesn't sound like me. I don't know why would you paint me in a light like my name's Corf? It doesn't sound like me.
Really?
I don't know. I've been seeing clips of like Warzone.
Okay.
Like when it first came out.
Uh-huh.
Not first came out, but like Verdansk, like 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
Like that. God, I kind of miss battle royales. So there's a part of me that misses battle royales that kind of wants to like find like the next like hot one and get in there and like be on that like train where like everybody's kind of like riding and figuring out the meta together and shit like that.
Is it off the grid?
But, like, yeah.
I did talk to you about this. Okay.
Nah, it doesn't sound like me.
Okay, anyway.
But the problem with that is I know that any joy that is within that is going to be so short-lived because everything is just like we've talked about this 1,000 times, like FPS as a genre online is just plagued with cheaters and like,
it feels
what's the fucking,
when
what's
there's
the point?
and when there's a money like number behind it too. If it's a free to play game, it's like, okay, I'll get in to try it out, and then the minute it isn't fun anymore, I don't feel bad just walking away because I haven't really spent any money. It's when you put that monetary value behind it. It's like I had to pay into this $30 or $40 or $60 and it's dog shit or whatever. You know, it's like, oh man, I don't want to fucking deal with that. You know, because I don't know what Off the Grid is. I don't know if it's free to play or not.
I think here's an interesting thing. I think it is free to play, I believe. And they have a monthly subscription service to it. So you can play for free, but to be able to use any skins, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Like to purchase skins, you have to be at like a tier level. And in that tier level, it's like $10 a month or something like that.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know if, and I think we've talked about this before, if there was like, you know, they have like was it CSGO where like you pay and it's like, okay, now you're going to be in lobbies.
Yeah.
If it was a good enough game and there was kind of that, like that paywall guarantee, I don't know if $10 a month is enough to keep fucking hackers out though, you know?
No, one, it's not, especially if it's free to play. It means you just start a new account and then just pay the $10 you were already paying. You know what I mean? It's not like that changes it. There's also the next thing, realistically, when you look at it, it's like, okay, well then, okay, if you're going to pay a subscription, I'm paying a subscription to something. What content am I getting out of that?
You're getting skins, you're getting stuff like that. And I think they also have like a CS market where when you get like collectible skins, you can sell and resell, but you only have access to that market if you are in the subscription.
Oh, I want to talk about something.
Uh-oh.
You were talking about CS market. That goes back to the Valve marketplace. Valve has now started notifying. There was just I don't know if you read your contract, your terms of service from Valve that just got updated. Probably not. Everybody just clicks pass through. They're now actively telling people, remember, for every video game that you have is a license to the video game. You do not own a copy of this game. So here's the next thing that I started looking down this whole thing. This is something that we as a gaming community need to be prepared for. This is something that's super important. And I think a lot of us, because we have so much love.
Fucking Kamala Harris doesn't want us to have fucking video games. She's going to fucking take it away from us unless she wins. She's going to,
no. Valve and Steam, right, is where everything is. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even so much so that places like Epic and Ubisoft and everybody has always tried to start their own fucking stores. Even Battle.net in its original, I was just finding out for this book, their original adaptation of Battle.net was supposed to introduce it to have other games so people could use it as an online service to play multiplayer games. But the company was like, no, we are only going to keep it for just our content or whatever. Now that Microsoft has acquired it, who knows where that's all going to go. Anyway, back to Steam. The only reason Steam has been the way that it has been for so long without changing anything, like the whole reason with Epic was like, well, they take 30% and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit. It was like, Valve was like, that's what we've done. That's what we're sticking to. This is how we make money. This is what we do. This is how we can continue offering all the services we have. And that's why Steam just fucking works. Like, there's rarely any issues with Steam. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is because of Gabe Newell. Gabe behind it, Big Boy Gabe, the man, the myth, the legend himself, has to this day still stood by the fact he's like, I'm not making changes to what I believe in. He's a hardcore Dota player. He's been around since the beginning. He's been there through all of the different Valve games. He's the person that helps drive the company, drive everything. He's worth millions of dollars, and he's pretty modest about what he does. He's also 61 years old. He's also been fat for 90% of his life. He's only recently started losing weight and stuff like that. Gabe's not going to be around forever. So what happens to Steam once he's gone? There's going to be a void of power, and there's going to be a struggle for it. And who knows who takes over and what they purchase, and then what ends up happening to all your video games and all the games that we have and everything that we have access to. You know what I mean? There's where like the next step in video games for us, once everything went digital, especially for PC gaming, when everything went digital, what happens if you now have to pay a subscription to access your Steam? You know, are you going to continue to do stuff like that? You know, there's a lot of things that just, you know, I don't know, man, but it's also scary to think about that you don't own anything. You own nothing. I got 1,000 games in my library. I don't own a single one of them. Just think about it, except for the games that I have CD keys for, right? They pop up and like, this is your CD key, da 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 da. That means I own that copy of that game because I have the CD key. Maybe, I guess, I would assume. Because the licensing, I mean, I've never had a CD key for anything else. It's a terrifying thought to think about. That like as gamers, at any moment, that could just all disappear. Could you imagine you wake up tomorrow and Steam is just no longer exists?
And all that, all the money spent, all the everything. I swear to God, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. I'm gonna go to like a fucking a retro game store, and I'm gonna start buying fucking, you know, like original Xboxes, things like that.
I have to assume if I went direct to a publisher or a developer and emailed them and said, "Let me purchase a game directly from you with a CD key on a flash drive and send it to me," I'm sure that has to be an option, right? Like I can't all just be.
Who's gonna get that email though that makes that call?
I don't know.
Some kid in the mailroom, he's like, "The fuck is this?"
I know it doesn't make any sense, but I mean, look, legitimately, if everything's done through Steam, hey, I don't want to pay Steam. I don't want you guys to have to take a 30% cut. I will pay you directly. Just give me the game so I know that I own it, so I can continue playing it. That has to be an option.
Only one way to find out. Fun pimps. If there was ever one that you should own a thumb drive to.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's why I love Stalker in itself. Stalker, once CSG kind of like lost like momentum on Stalker, and they were going to close the studio before Stalker 2 got announced and everything kind of pumped back up again. All of the original first 3 games for Stalker, Shadow, Chernobyl, Call Appropriate, and Clear Sky, are all open source now. They're out in the open. So that's why you can download like the Anomaly pack that has all 3 games tied into it with all the different mods and all the HD retextures. Like if you go through the Stalker mod list, that community is rabid. They are so good at what they do. They have been the people that have generated that game's existence to this point. Like that game exists, and all the different types of mod packs and overhauls and things like that. Like I just downloaded a couple of them. It's one that's a combination of everything called Call of Chernobyl. There's mod packs for everything. It does all this stuff. It just puts everything neat, nice and neat. It's like almost like the pre-anomaly type of stuff or whatever. That's where it's at, man. Once a game is so old that like the community can take over, and the community's just like, yeah, we modded in HD textures to a game that's from fucking 2003. You know what I mean? And the game looks better than some of the games that have come out nowadays. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, oh, I want to. And like every time you see something pop up, it's like, oh, we have a Patreon if you want to donate to us. It's like, I would give you every fucking dime in the world. Like, you deserve it, because I am having so much more fun playing in the game from 20 something years ago that looks better than games I just purchased at $80 now. I would rather give you $80. Buy indie, right? Yeah. Buy indie.
Yeah. Where do these modders come from? Are they like signed like talent with other companies? Because like it kind of makes you wonder like why. I don't. Is it like IP? Like the IP just isn't there for them to like oh, we should make a game like this, but like they have like all the skills to fix the bugs, to update the textures, to do almost everything except for what's keeping like a group of like modders from like, you know what,
let's
like
just
we
all
do
start a company.
all of this.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking crank one out.
It has to be
We're
capital.
already fucking bush leaguing it right now.
It has to be capital, right? I think that's where a lot of like Kickstarters and stuff used to come from too. Like now that Kickstarter's a little bit like, I don't really trust it anymore. But I think at the very beginning it was like, yeah, a bunch of people just came together. It was like, we don't have the money to create this, but this is what we've done so far, and this is what we think we can do. If you're willing to give us money, we could do this, you know. And people were like, fuck yeah, we'll back you right now, you know.
Yeah.
It also it's like super questionable to me because it's like, dude, you guys, some of the modders out there, like modders for 7 days, modders for fucking Stalker, modders for GTA, you know, it's like, at what point do you guys not just, okay, perfect example is the dudes who did fucking Fallout London.
Yeah.
Like they started their own thing and they're kind of their own non-profit organization because they're working off of like legal reasons with other IPs and stuff. All the art and assets are theirs, but they can't like put monetary value to it. They just can't be legally taken away from. Right. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you guys were able to do this. Why not just do your own game? Yeah. And is it literally just capital? Are you literally just at a point where like everybody who's done this, it's a passion project and we did this for free? Okay, well, if you're already doing that, then just do it, release a game, and when the money comes in, then divvy everything out, you know?
Yeah.
Start something exactly. Unless it all just comes down to taxes, laws, and bullshit, you know?
Good.
Fly under the radar until you pump something out. You know what I mean? I would do it. Yes. I would.
Don't let fucking Microsoft or Activision smell what's coming.
That's exactly right. If I had that,
do and sell it.
If I had a group of people that would be willing to make a game, we'd put it all together. We'd do it under the radar, fly it for as long as necessary to get it up and running. And then when it gets to the point where like we're almost ready to launch it, throw a demo out, ask people what they think, throw it on Kickstarter or something like where you can generate a large capital funding so you can do some marketing and stuff like that. And then just fucking release it and sell it and see how well it does. And if it just skyrockets, go from there.
See, I asked that question and then you said, well, Kickstarter. And then like, I immediately like, oh yeah, that's probably why. Because so many fucking rug pulls and people that are like, oh, well, like we just ran out of funds or like this one, like through, like there's been so many like scams of like people who came up with like these fucking like, they paid Fiverr artists to make like some like 3D animations to give them like a proof of concept.
They there's a company, there's a game, I can't remember what it's called, but I'll have to look it up. It just released on Steam, and it was a Kickstarter game from a while back, from a few years back, and it was this guy was like, it was during the fucking NFT bump in like 2020. He took all this money from Kickstarter and everything and invested it into crypto, and then just it tanked. And they were like, sorry, guys, we have to shut down the studio because we don't have any money because all the crypto disappeared. And then somehow released this game out on Steam, finally put it out to probably capture whatever they could. And it's just a dog shit ass game, you know? And it's like, oh, you know. What was that Wild Wild West fucking NFT?
Oh, God.
That dog shit ass game.
What did I almost buy? God, it was like $360 for like some fucking.
It was
like loot chest pack that had a chance to like.
And it was a concept. It was like, this is the art that's a concept of what we think we'll put in there for $300. And then some like, remember it was like the artist came out and was like, hey, that's my art. You can't use that. They're like, no, it's just a placeholder. It's like,
yeah.
It's so fucked up.
Fuck.
Man. Crypto was, yeah, crypto was a whole another ball game, man.
Fucking. Oh, Logan Paul.
Man, we'll have to save it for the next podcast, but I wanted to ask you a question. I want you to think about this before we go to the next podcast. The worst video game you have ever played. Okay, the absolute worst video game you've ever played that you have never been able to get out of your mind of it being the worst video game ever. Even though maybe other people liked it, maybe it did really well, maybe it did really poorly, but just the worst fucking video game of all time for you. I don't want you to answer it now. I want you to save it. I want you to answer it next week. And last but not least, How deep down the Beyonce fucking rabbit hole did you go?
It's
never ending.
Thank God for Chappell Roan. If it wasn't for her playlist, my entire algorithm would be nothing but that. And like I just like watched one, and it just kept going and going. And
For anyone,
the list of like all the people that like you see them like look at her when they win and like fucking like start thanking and stuff like that. And then you like look at like Jay-Z accepting it and like saying like I don't know how she doesn't have album of the year, like stuff like this. Like it seems like such a reach at first, but like the more people go into it, and I mean I've seen some crazy off the wall ones. There's like the forgotten chapter of the Bible, the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
There's 22 stars that go around Mount Heron, and Paramount Pictures has like I watch so much
dude.
shit,
and then
but some of them, like even though it seems far-reaching at first, they really connect some dots.
And then like I was saying, the people that didn't like thank Beyonce and then all of a sudden like wound up sick or had fucking something happen to them or died.
Oh, Wendy Williams.
Yeah, the Wendy Williams one. Yeah, there's a lot of shit where it's like, and then like I said, then it pairing all together why Kanye may have hopped on stage to take the mic from Taylor Swift to thank Beyonce may not have been an asshole move as much as him being like, we got to save this little girl because she's probably fucking, yeah, she has no idea. She's just going to be caught in the crossfire. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. For anyone who doesn't know, start looking this up. Just look up Beyonce and Grammy conspiracy and just watch how deep this shit goes. It just go, and it's not
Don't
like
forget Jay-Z too.
Oh, and Jay-Z's
got
yeah,
a big part in all
he's
this.
a big part in all of it. But I mean, specifically, like it is wild how weird this goes. And I love a good conspiracy. I love a good conspiracy. I think I love conspiracies more that are just so off the wall. You're like, yeah, dude, what the fuck? Lizard people in the center of the earth? Okay. But I can get behind it because I'm like, that's just so weird. Mothman prophecies? Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But then when you see shit like this and like there's like almost evidence that like link it, it's like, ooh. Yeah. And then you see the things with like Diddy and everything happening. It's like, I don't know anymore. It's hard to tell what's going on. It's, everything's starting to fall apart.
The worst thing is, even if it's all true and there is evidence of it, we'll never know. Well, it'll be so well guarded.
I don't know, but here's the thing. What ends up happening, the movie industry, look at the chain of events. You got like Me Too happens. The movie industry fucking collapses on itself with all the bullshit. All these things start coming out. What ends up happening after there? Then you have Epstein come live and all the people getting it. Then what ends up happening? Then the music industry got locked up in the middle of all the Epstein stuff. Now you got the Diddy stuff going on. It's just unfolding around them. And why is it? Because we have access to the internet. Because every single one of us got a fucking supercomputer in our pocket that can look up information at any fucking point in time. You know what I mean? And then the more this stuff goes out there, the more things get on. What ends up happening? Fucking journalists got nothing better to do. They don't know how to be real journalists anymore. So they just parrot the same thing they're talking about. Then the evidence starts going live. Then one person in fucking law looks it up. Boom, the whole thing unrails. Oh. We thought World War III would start over fucking different countries. No,
it's starting over Justin Bieber's virgin asshole and who bought it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, guys, we're out of here. Have a good week. Be kind to one another. Remember, scrub your feet. No one ever does that, but they're in socks and sweat all fucking day long. So,
My fucking...
Ugh. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.